Why can quantum supremacy change everything when it comes to the global system and foreign affairs? Well, let's look at this first by trying to figure out what quantum computing is. In layman's terms, quantum computing uses physics first and only then logic to perform complex calculations that traditional computers are really bad at and quantum computers are really good at. They use something called spin and the position of electrons and create something equivalent to a bit in traditional computer. It's called qubit, quantum bit, and it is one logical entity that defines how well quantum computers and how much they can compute. This capability is doubling approximately every year, which means it's about increasing by a factor of 1,000 over a decade. Right now, IBM can create 400-something qubit computers, and by the end of the year, they want to have 1,000. That means in a decade from now, they will have 1,000,000 qubits. And according to pretty much any kind of estimation, that is far enough for most of the most significant advances that people are concerned about or are hoping for. What are these? Well, quantum computers are very good at multi-factor calculations, which is, by the way, what traditional computers are very bad at. And because of this, traditional encryption mechanisms use multi-factor calculations because they know this is secure. Well, this is exactly the challenge with quantum computing. Quantum computing is able to decrypt traditional, pretty much all old school encryption mechanisms. At least this is the projection that quantum computing will be able to do so within a few years. Whether that's 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, we don't know. This depends on the algorithms, among other things. But the moment you are able to do this, you have a complete game changer at your hands. But first, let's look what kind of calculations quantum computing is good at, because this is also very important for foreign affairs and for our global system. It's good at discovering materials because it can simulate properties on the molecular level of materials, but also of drugs and of any kind of biological object. And this allows us to discover fertilizers, new kinds of fertilizers, new kinds of drugs, personalized drugs, materials with different properties, desirable properties because they're cheaper or because they're healthier or more capable. All of this is wonderful. But when it comes to the ability to decrypt traditional, old-school encryption mechanisms, quantum computing becomes really an impactful technology on the military and on the international level also, and for law enforcement. Because now what you get is the ability to immediately access all data, access all systems, including the administrative passwords, breaking all of this, and you can change reality. You can change the contents of any database. You can change and intercept anything you want, at least unless you use quantum secure encryption, which is already suggested to do. But we are still in the early stages. We still don't know how good these algorithms are. Now, this is the reason why intelligence agencies and governments are sucking as much data and information they can from the internet and are storing it, because they wait for the moment when they have these quantum decryption capabilities, and then they have control over all this data. And that is, at least politically speaking, quantum supremacy and a real game-changing moment. At least for a short period of time, somebody will be so vastly superior of the other side that it really can change the balance of power for a generation. On the flip side of this, though, there are also two ways of using quantum computing for communications, for secure communication. One is to secure traditional secure communications on via fiber optic cables, but another one, using a concept called quantum entanglement, allows for absolutely secure communication remotely that cannot be broken, simply because quantum physics does not allow the communication to be observed. So it's absolutely secure, which means on the positive side, hooray, all our commercial interactions, our private conversations, everything is secure. We have empowered the individual, we have empowered organizations. We are able to securely and safely interact, communicate, do whatever we want to do without fear of being intercepted. And that is exactly what governments don't like, because they are afraid, and law enforcement, because they are afraid that the criminals and the enemies are doing exactly the same. So we can secure our communication, including our military communication, but the other side can do it also. This is game-changing in international relations, both the quantum decryption capabilities and the quantum communication capabilities. If you want to find out more, please check up on foreignaffairsforum.org, and particularly on the course Tectonic Essentials for Foreign Affairs, in which I go a little bit more in detail in some of these aspects. And please hit the subscribe button, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.